I think the watchwords of this speech were partnerships, modesty. He repeated those words again and again. You know, he emphasized that he wanted to be on an equal footing with his African partners. He completely rejected the idea of Africa being, someone's backyard. You know, obviously wanting to completely break with the past. He rejected the idea of Africa being, like a playground for competing nations. To exert their influence. And of course, what's going on here, of course, is that France is now realizing that it no longer is the partner by default for many African nations because now Africa can choose its partners. So, there's a real effort here to redefine what, the narrative about France's role in Africa. And another, huge part of this speech was also about what France's military role would be going forward. In a nutshell, what President Macron said was that French troops would no longer be deployed in frontline roles like they have been over the last 10 years. Instead, they'd be put in secondary and supporting roles to help local armies fight, jihadist threats, for example. And what that also means is that there'll be less French boots on the ground. So, this speech really trying to redefine the narrative about France's role in Africa and also about what its military will be doing in the years to come too.
Okay, so President Macron's going to arrive there in Gabon, where you are, on Wednesday. What sort of a welcome do you think he'll get?
Well, there is, obviously a lot of anticipation ahead of President Macron's visit here. He'll be arriving on Wednesday night, where he'll be greeted by the president of Gabon, Ali Bongo, and they'll have a working dinner. Of course, he's here to take part in that One Forest Summit, a major environmental summit, looking at how to protect biodiversity here in the Congo River Basin. But, his visit, obviously not without controversy. There have been some questions raised about Macron choosing to visit Gabon this year. It is an election year, and the president of Gabon was re-elected in 2016 in a very highly polarized election. But of course, the other thing we've been hearing from people here too is that they've been saying now that they believe it's up to France to make an effort. And what that all goes to show is that you can no longer take for granted, like in the past, that French presidents would be warmly greeted by locals. That is a thing of the past. And we've seen how anti-French sentiment in the last year has gripped countries like Mali and Burkina Faso. That hasn't happened to the same extent here. Of course, that's no guarantee it won't happen. And of course, President Macron and the Elysee are well aware of that going into this trip.